Hey, how's it going? Collecting wealth. There's a Bible verse for people who are Christian or people who read the Torah. It said in the King James, it is he that has given thee the power to get wealth. You don't create wealth. You collect it. People who believe you create wealth are wrong. If you have 1 million people who give you a penny apiece, that's $10,000. You haven't created anything. You collected it. If 1 million people gave you $1 apiece, that's $1 million. That's collection. That's not creation. If you have a store and you're making 2-3 cents a candy bar, 20-30 cents a candy bar, eventually making the profit, you'll make $1 million. You're gathering wealth, not creating it. I've talked to people who believe that they were creating wealth when they're making a $300 sale. He says, oh, that's how you create wealth. No, that's how you collect it. The reason that it's such a big deal to me is because if you realize that it's already there, then you know that you can go get it. If you want to get a glass of water, a lot of people don't worry about getting a glass of water. They just say, I'm going to get a glass of water. They get a glass of water. When if they want to have a peanut butter sandwich, they can get some bread. They can get bread. They can get peanut butter. They can put the peanut butter on the bread and make a sandwich. They didn't create a sandwich. Well, they did or didn't. They had They had the ingredients of a sandwich. They put them together, and they ate the sandwich. Did you create the molecules? Did you create the bread? Did you create the peanut butter? You made a sandwich out of the ingredients that you have. You create wealth? No. You harvest wealth? Yes. When a farmer puts a seed in the ground, and I'm not going to be Blueberg, okay? I'm not teaching you how to farm. I'm not a farmer. But when they put the seed in the ground, it grows and they have a harvest, sometimes, 30 times, 60, 100 times, whatever they put in the ground. Who created that? Well, God put the seed of whatever in itself. So God made more corn with corn. So you take one kernel of corn, you put it in the ground, and God gave the increase. You didn't create the corn, God did. You harvested the corn. You ever hear about harvesting corn? Or do you hear about, well, we're going to create some corn. We're going to go over there and create some corn. No, you don't. You harvest it. God creates it. I'm not trying to be over Christian, but the idea of creating something that already exists isn't true. There are people that go to a place called Homer, Alaska. And in Homer, Alaska, they have places that you can dig for gold. Now, the gold is inside the ground. And you can dig it up and take it out of the ground. And if you have enough of it, you collect it. And you can get enough to make a $9,999.99 bar of gold. You can do that by collecting the gold, smelting the gold, and putting it aside. You did not create that wealth. You harvested that wealth. The reason it's such a big deal to me is because if people believe they are capable of creating wealth, some people will believe that they're not capable of creating wealth. You're not creating anything. You're collecting it. People collect bills. People collect aluminum cans. People collect bottles. And they convert it into wealth. So take a look at that. If you find a bunch of aluminum cans and you put them in your car and you crush them down and you take them to the recycle place, did you create anything or did you harvest it? You harvested the wealth. You didn't create it. If you want to create something, be married to your wife. Create a baby. It takes two, Half of you and half of her, and you can create a baby. Because the seed is not of itself, according to what God said. But God is the one that creates it. But if you happen to be the father or mother, you say, well, we made you together. Well, that's fine. But you harvest wealth. Get that in your brain. You want to harvest wealth. Get that in your brain. Even if you sold cars and you made $200.50, $200 a car. You sell 5 cars. You collected $1,000 profit. So if you harvest $1,000 of profit, somebody took that money and gave it to you for what you had. You didn't create it out of thin air. You collected something that they had. The only one that I know that makes money out of thin air is maybe the government. But they don't. They digitize money. Yeah. You collect wealth. Okay? And you can take it out. If you had $1 million transferred into your account from another account and it was digital money, you pull it out, it's paper. So you do not create, you collect. I'm collecting my wealth. This is what I'm doing. So you're harvesting your wealth. You're collecting your wealth. You're not creating your wealth. For those people who like, peace out, live long and prosper. Have a jolly good day. And my favorite, God bless America.